I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
You know, the local organizer saying he don't speak for us and all this. You put yourself in an interesting position when you let someone who has more reach kind of co-opt your message. And so for them, while he might not have been the one that started it, if it were not for him, it probably wouldn't have been as publicized as it was. And so then, you know, you put yourself in an interesting position when you let someone else take that power of your message, and you really haven't dealt with that person and said, hey, this is what we want. We're not going to end until this. And they kind of have free reign to do what they want when they want. And they're doing negotiating separate from yours. And it just speaks to something they're not the first person and won't be the last people who need someone to further their message, but you're not necessarily aligned with that person. That's where that's a kind of a conundrum. What do? Do you keep your message small and don't have the reach, or do you let someone else who has a larger platform kind of be the face of it? And then when they take a misstep or do something you don't like, then you have to come in and be like, no, he doesn't speak for us. Well, you let him speak for you for a year.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, because that's pretty much what happened in Ferguson. Like, the people who were actually boots on the ground had a vision that turned out to be different than the vision that was kind of put forth by the public people. But I mean, I don't know if we could have had the nationwide reach that we did have, like you said, if it wasn't people who kind of stood in that spotlight. But even with standing in the spotlight, I think that there's something to be said about making sure that you still keep your voice and your agenda separate. And so when they say things, you say, well, this is what they're asking for, but this is what the grassroots or whatever is asking for. So I think you can let people further the cause and further the reach without letting them speak for you per se, or making sure that you have a distinct voice separate from theirs, so that, you know, when this happens, people aren't confused about where you stand. And you can say, hey, this is what our agenda is. We're not ending until this is what happens. And then just kind of make sure that you separate what it is you're trying to do from whatever it is that the people who are, you know, reaching the larger crowds are trying to do.
Shout out to Cover Girl in the chat saying hello, Marby, B Lab, and Erika. Yeah, I think you know, what we learned from Ferguson was that the local organizers definitely had a different agenda than those who came in from a national perspective. I don't like to question the motives of everybody that was involved, but I know that the people locally, they had a vested interest. They lived there day to day. They had been terrorized by the police in the area of Ferguson and St. Louis County on a day-to-day basis. So there was a palpable sense of emotions that, you know, that when Mike Brown was murdered, you know, they wanted a change. They were speaking out for a change. So then you had national people come in, and then it becomes, well, okay, the corporate media, they know, okay, well, we can go talk. What's the boy, D-Ray? We can go talk. Was that his name, D-Ray McKesson? Or was that's the comedian? What's the boy's name? The dude that always wear the little blue vest.
It's definitely McKesson.
Yeah, but it's something, right? So you have these national.
I think it's D-Ray or Del Ray.
Yeah, I think it's D-Ray. Yeah, I think it's D-Ray. So you had these people come in, and then, you know, what was our boy that got? He was one of the people that got murdered. He was dude. He was speaking out. He was calling out D-Ray and all those dudes. Oh my gosh, what was
Darren Sims?
Darren Sims. He was a real one. So he was calling them out like, y'all coming here for the news coverage. So y'all be on TV. Y'all not really communicating with us. Y'all not down with us. Y'all not really with the struggle. So when I saw Nikema Levy, she was on Roland Martin, and she was irate because she was like, how are you all going to take over for us when this is the movement that we started? We started this locally. And I think it's incumbent upon people with a national platform to work with the local organizers to make sure that the message is on one accord. There is no confusion, and you're not co-opting what's going on. Because what happens is then people start to question your motives. Then people start saying, hey, listen, did you get paid? And Jamal said, he said, I did not get paid. I did not get paid. Okay, but then my question is, then what do you get out of it? Target got their money. Yeah, they suffering, because of the boycott, whatever. But at the end of the day, they still got their money.
Right.
You don't have anything. And one of the things that the local organizer was saying, I can't remember the young man's name, but there was an African brother who was unjustly tried for murder, right? And Target somehow, some way had invested money to really help that case move forward and to get him convicted unjustly. So they wanted them to atone for that. They wanted them to atone for the DEI, for them backing down from DEI. And I think there was one other thing that they were asking for. And they were asked, well, have you met with Target's leadership? And they said, why? Why are we going to meet with them if they haven't addressed any of the things that we've asked them to address? So no, the boycott isn't going on. I find it really very funny that Tamika Mallory and the other sister that was down with Jamal Bryant, they was like, no, we still ain't going to Target.
Right.
Then it morphs into, I'm gonna let you jump in, Lab. Do you have black men overriding black women? That's what it evolves into, and that's what I'm starting to see in social media. It's like there's another example of black men not supporting black women, which is some bullshit, because this black man ain't going to Target. That black man right there cut off his Target card, ain't going to Target. So to make that sweeping generalization is some nonsense. But you do have to be cognizant if you're somebody like Pastor Jamal Bryant and how it looks, the optics.
Right.
And I think also, though, there was, because before this even came out, probably within the last, maybe month or a month and a half, maybe on Threads or something, I had saw, little conversations going, and people were like, this Target's the only thing, and I really need this for my kid. It's the only place and people were trying to, and so, this the thing is, if you are in a place where there isn't another large box retailer, and I mean, I think maybe those people have continued to go, and to me, no shade, like you said, we all got to do what we got to do, right? But I almost wonder if he was like, you know what, I've been overwhelmed, or a lot of people have been asking me, like, hey, in my neighborhood there's a Target here, there's not a Walmart for 15 miles, and I can't get to Target, I can't get to Walmart, or I can't get to, I don't know, whatever grocery store, and most grocery stores don't sell household items like a Target will have groceries and a household items, small appliances, clothing, everything. So
yeah, but I think that there are more Dollar Generals and Family Dollars or whatever in those rural areas than there is, a Target or a Walmart. And I think that Walmart intentionally goes to those rural areas, but so does the Dollar Tree and whatever, the dollar store and stuff like that. They all do it too. So I think that there are options. I think it's just a matter of changing your routine to do what you said you was going to do. And that's what most people don't want to do.
Hey, I'm not buying a steak from Dollar General. I'm just telling you, they got them in there. They got them at Dollar Tree. They got steaks at Dollar Tree.
No, I wouldn't either.
So listen, people are hurting right now.
Inflation, that too.
This war that Trump started, got gasoline prices. They jumped like 25%, something crazy. I know
more than that.
Normally to fill my truck up is around $55-$60. Last time I filled it up, it was like $80-something.
Yeah.
Just in a week, And when you got people who drive to work, people who, and I don't understand, like people that got small children, like the small babies don't eat that much. When they start getting like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and all that, and you got to feed them every day, it's tough, man. It's tough out here. So, I think that those people probably aren't going to Target anyway, because Target is more, we call it Target. It's the bougie store, right? So really, if you're still shopping at Target, man, that's just because you want your creature comforts and you like going in, smelling the popcorn and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So
I don't agree with that because I mean that I think there's Targets, especially the super Targets that are groceries, have a lot of groceries, and you can't get a full grocery store item at a Dollar General, a Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. You just can't.
I'm not
But they
debating
got
that.
grocery stores.
I'm not debating that point though. What I'm saying though is that Target is not low cost. So even if you're going there to shop for groceries, there's got to be a cheaper option somewhere. Target is not a low cost store. It never has been.
No, but I mean, food prices are generally the same. I mean, for the most part, 7-cent difference in mayonnaise or something. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know that. There's a reason
hey man,
why.
I do the
There's a
grocery
reason why
shopping in my house, man.
There's a reason why Aldi's was in business.
Right.
Now Aldi's done got a little bit bougie.
Exactly.
Because listen, somebody told me like when you go to like other countries, Aldi's is more high end. It's here where we was like, man, Aldi's on some bullshit. He said Aldi. Look, we black, so we call it Aldi's.
Hey, you get your fruit rounds. You don't get the fruit loops. You get the fruit rounds, man.
Right.
Right. I remember my ex-wife came. She was like, man, they just built an Aldi. Aldi's. I'm gonna let you correct me. They just built the Aldi's, man. I got all this stuff. I said, man, don't you ever buy bring no Aldi's in my shit. Just because, like, back in the day, growing up, Aldi's had the stuff that was like, you buy some chicken from Aldi's, it may expire. Like if today is the 18th, it's gonna expire on the 20th.
You gotta use the same day.
you gotta go shop and cook. You gotta cook it as soon as you get home.
Yeah.